Good morning, folks. Happy Friday. So a lot of activity in the markets yesterday. Let's take a quick spin through the charts. It's about 9:15 New York time, so we got a little bit of time before the markets open. This is gold in the daily time frame. We can see big impulsive move on the start of the week, kind of a holding in place action yesterday up at resistance. This morning, so far, we've got this big doji bullish hammer in Japanese candlestick terms. We might look at that as a bullish hammer. Anyway, that's good action in gold this morning. Energy very elevated, MACD in bull mode on a buy signal. So gold looking good. Would expect this move to continue today, or at least remain in this high consolidation. I'm not expecting a pullback in gold today. I'm expecting a lot of volatility in the markets overall. This is GLD. One of the things I wanted to see with the big move in gold was it primarily in the futures markets, or were we getting broad participation from retail and institutional investors across the precious metals sector? And so one of the ways we can judge that, when we look at GLD, this is the largest of the gold trusts by far. And so when we see big volume like that, we can be confident that move in the precious metals, move in gold, is being participated in by a broad investor base. So very nice action in GLD. Let's move on to silver. This is silver in the weekly time frame, and we can see that silver's just pushing up into resistance at the 40-week moving average. But nice, strong price ball off that support level. Silver in the daily time frame, big impulsive move on those this week. Yesterday, pushing up into resistance at both the 200-day moving average and the support resistance zone. This morning, we're in a holding pattern, again, pushing against that resistance. Would not be surprising to see silver push through that resistance today and push on higher. MACD in bull mode on a buy signal, energy very elevated. Nice action in silver. Let's look at SLV, and it's the same thing here. We're looking for broad participation of the U.S. investors, retail and institutional both. And based on that volume, I would suggest that that's what we got. This is a broad rally in the precious metals sector. GDXJ, this is the junior miners ETF in the daily time frame. Nice push up following the metals. That's 7%. So we got a 7.17% jump in the metals. Just a really nice move in the mining stocks, and continuation. We'll see what happens today. A high consolidation yesterday above the 50-day moving average. So stocks looking very nice. Oh, and then notice as well that on a 7% up day, look at that volume. And so that's very bullish, seeing that kind of volume on a big move in price. So nice action there. SIL, this is our silver miners ETF in the weekly time frame. It just kind of bumping sideways so far, pushing up into resistance. So Bitcoin, not a happy camper. So yesterday we had two things that I'm aware of relative to the crypto world. Russia came out and said they're not going to play the crypto game. They're talking about banning both the mining and trading. It's like basically we're not going to do crypto in Russia. And then also yesterday, the U.S. Fed released a white paper on their proposed crypto coin. So two events yesterday. It was probably, or analysts suspect, that it was Russia's announcement that caused Bitcoin to do this. That's almost 10% drop. Oh, it's over 10% at this point, a drop on that move. In Andrew's pitchfork terms, when price moves, the next target is always the next median line, which in this case becomes the lower median line down at 34,000, which coincidentally brings us down here to close that gap. And so if we were going to place a trade on Bitcoin, and I won't be taking this trade. If we were going to trade Bitcoin, we would be considering going short and covering our short position down here when that gap was closed. Ethereum, people that care about crypto are watching the 3,000 level as being significant and talking about how Ethereum has now broken the 3,000 level. It's currently down in this support resistance zone where it could easily reverse. We can see that that's what happened back here in September, support resistance, big rally. So that's still a possibility for Ethereum from this level. It has not broken down yet. US dollar still pushing up into resistance from below. I still maintain that that was a failure of this support level, and now it's being tested from below. MACD has rolled over, so yeah, nothing exciting in the dollar. Interest rates, yield on the 10-year note is pulling back a little bit this morning. This is the weekly time frame, so a little bit soft this morning. But when we look in the daily time frame, not surprising that we would need some time to consolidate this big move. And of course, when we're talking interest rates and U.S. Treasuries, there are forces on this planet that would prefer that yields not rise. And so there may be influences on this market other than Mother Nature. So anyway, we're getting softness in the rates this morning. Very overbought still based on MACD, energy very elevated. So, and of course, declining interest rates are a headwind for the precious metals. So pullback in the yield could provide energy for the precious metals to move higher today. We will see. The equity markets they were looking fine for most of the day yesterday, and then just sold off into the last hour of the session. And that was the second day in a row where that behavior occurred, looked good all day long and then just rolled over in the last hour. And so S&P clearly lost the support level of that prior high and has now taken out this prior low, has now taken out this prior low as well with yesterday's move. I'd say the target is the 200-day moving average, which is another 50 points lower. So that's SPX. Dow has already penetrated its 200-day moving average at the end of the day yesterday, and dropping lower. I would suggest the next target in the Dow is this lower median line. That's 34,300, or this prior low as a potential support area. So that's the Dow. NASDAQ, tech stocks definitely getting beat up. Plunge below the 200-day moving average, perhaps finding support on this is the first median line extension of this shift pitchfork, potential support at that level, series of lower lows and lower highs. That's the definition of a downtrend. So NASDAQ is definitely in a downtrend, and I believe it's officially in a correction, which is more than a 15% decline from its high. So NASDAQ not looking good. We drop down into the 4-hour time frame. So this is NASDAQ in the, this is the 1-hour time frame. So this is NASDAQ in the 1-hour time frame. A couple of things to point out here. First of all, Andrews pitchforks are effective in all time frames. You put them down on, 233 tick chart if you want. The lower time frame you go, the more volatility you have, and therefore your Andrews pitchforks don't remain valid for as long in the short time frames as they do in the long time frames. But Andrews pitchforks are valid in all time frames. We can see that NASDAQ, series of lower lows, lower highs, lost support at the end of the day yesterday and just rolled over. And so that's what I wanted to focus on here. And this is what all of the equity markets did yesterday. They're kind of bumping along sideways, and then in the last hour just tanked. So folks, we got about 2 minutes before the markets open. I'm going to wrap it up here and watch the excitement. Have a fantastic day today.